Hey everybody, Jonathon Sawyer here, your chef at the Red Apron Recipe Club. Just wanted to walk you guys through the way I would cook this recipe. Now this is just a little bit of a long form version of the recipe. I'm going to tell you all the ins and outs, the way I like it, what makes it special, and what makes it so beautiful. So we're talking about a ramp carbonara for the month of April. And the idea behind ramps, that harbinger of springtime, is it's a wild onion, and its flavor is really similar to a combination of garlic and wild onions or scallions or spring onions. And I'm making this recipe a little bit before the wild ramp season springs here in Illinois. So I'm going to do a substitution that you can do to make this recipe all year round, which is garlic and spring onions, okay? Or scallions or leeks, whatever onion or allium of your choice, but you got to add a little bit of garlic to it for the piquancy. Now, for the carbonara bucatini, this is one of those beautiful Roman recipes that the timing is exactly perfect if you're ready to go, okay? I recommend you mise the whole recipe out in advance, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it live. We drop our pasta, we start our sauce, we make our egg emulsification, and then we bring all three together, and it'll all be done. So if you have professional hands or quick hands, or there's two of you doing it, this whole recipe can be done in 11 minutes. That's how long the pasta cooks, okay? So first we're gonna start with bucatini, okay? This is that beautiful, thicker version of spaghetti that's got the hole running through the middle. For a oil-based sauce like this, because it is based on olive oil and the guanciale or pancetta fat, this is the perfect noodle for it, and we do want it to be dried. We do not want to use a fresh noodle for this. It'll absorb the sauce better, okay? Into our pot of boiling water goes our pasta. And as I always do, I season it afterwards. Why do I season my water afterwards? That way I never forget. If I'm always in the manner or the nature of seasoning my pasta water after my pasta goes in, I will never wonder whether I season that pot or not. Okay? I'm gonna turn this burner over medium. I'm gonna add half a tablespoon of olive oil. And then I add a couple ounces of pancetta. Now I'm doing a half recipe here, so if the quantities look like a little less than what you're doing, no big deal. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and get a knife out, and I'm gonna slice up these scallions, or these spring onions, and the garlic, okay? I wouldn't overthink it, I just want it to be nice and thin. And we're gonna reserve the bulbs, just like we would, or the bottom part, from the top part, the green part, because they do kind of cook at different times. Okay, there's one. Let's get garlic clove out here. Two big garlic cloves. Smash them. Remove the seed, the skin. Then we're also going to pull off that little root piece. I think it's super important when you have a recipe this sort of simple that you really source great ingredients, and that includes the Parmesan and Pecorino, or just the Parmesan if that's all you can get. It's got to be the real stuff. It's got to be the good stuff, because there really is only 4 ingredients in this, okay? My pancetta is starting to simmer. My pasta needs a little stir. I'm going to try to keep this nice and flat over that medium temperature, and once we get a little bit of color in there, that's when I'll add the ramp bulbs, or the scallion bulbs. Greens are separate. And with these, I'm gonna kind of mince them, because these are just gonna be folded in the last second. The bulbs and the garlic are gonna be cooked down, that slow, muted, sweet, sort of summery flavor, and then these raw bulbs will be folded in with the Parmesan and the Pecorino at the last second, okay? So we'll hold those there, move that there. Eggs. We're doing yolks only, and because I'm doing a half a recipe, it's really only gonna be 2 egg yolks, okay? Feel free to save the whites if you're in the manner of doing that. My favorite way to do it is crack it on a surface and go right through my fingers. I found that to be the fastest way to sort of separate egg whites and egg yolks. Okay, I got 2 in there. Pancetta's going. Let's go ahead and grate up 2 ounces of Parmesan. And then we'll do a little bit more over top of the pasta, and 2 ounces of Pecorino Toscano. I know Romans are purists about using that Pecorino Romano, but I really prefer the soft, sheepy, beautiful deliciousness that is the Toscano. I'm adding my greens directly into there, and I'm gonna add a little bit of that black pepper. Actually, a lot of bit of that black pepper. See this pan is really going. We're starting to get it brown. Perfect. Let's go ahead and add our garlic and our scallion directly to it. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Now, this recipe, because of the Parmesan cheese and the Pecorino cheese and the pancetta or guanciale, it does not require a lot of salt. So we're just going to put a little bit right in there. Okay? Now, let's give this pasta a stir. Make sure that none of these noodles are sticking to each other. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit because my pasta still has a couple of minutes. I'm gonna finish grating some of this pecorino in here. And this is the point where maybe at home you choose a whisk. I'm just gonna use a fork because I don't know, that's what I wanna do. I don't think you need to have specific utensil for every single purpose of your home kitchen, okay? All right, now I am gonna actually measure 4 ounces, but I'm only gonna use 2 of it, of this pasta blanching water, and I'm gonna mix it in slowly to this egg and cheese mixture. The idea is we're starting that binder that is eventually gonna sort of come up to temperature with the pasta in this pan. Okay, I'm gonna pull it off the heat because it's just about done. Waiting for the pasta, finishing this emulsification. You just keep drizzling it in just like this. Nice and slow, warming your eggs. Because if you were to add this entire amount right into the eggs, there's a chance you could curdle them. Now listen, at the end of the day, if you curdle the eggs, is it great? No. Is it still a great pasta? Yes. Really, the whole point is you're tempering these eggs much like you would make an anglaise or an ice cream base with a little bit of that pasta blanching liquid before it goes back into the pan. All right. 2 ounces are in. Black pepper's in. Scallions are in. That's going to be beautiful. Take a look at this pasta. Really close, really close. The one thing while we're waiting for this pasta to finish, I will tell you, is that this is a very Roman style pasta. This is a very Italian pasta. When you think of international versions of Italian pasta, there's a lot more sauce than you would see in the mother country, okay, in the boot. So the idea behind this is we're gonna minimally dress the greatest noodles we can with the greatest simple ingredients we can. If you like it extra saucy, double the parm, double the onions, double the pancetta. There's really no problem there. I think the amount of eggs you have in is about right, so I wouldn't really increase the eggs. You can always finish with a little extra parm, a little extra crispy bits of that pancetta. I'm gonna go strain this off. All right, right into the pan. There we go. Okay, turn this heat down a little bit. We don't want this egg mixture that took so much time to temper to curdle. And we're gonna add this in. And we're gonna keep moving it constantly as we add it in order to fully emulsify that noodle with the pasta sauce and the eggs and the Parmesan. It really happens quick. I'm gonna turn the heat off. We're just about there. Go ahead and plate a little bit and give it a bite. See how the sauce is really sticking to these noodles? Tons of little bits of onion, garlic, and pancetta. We're gonna garnish it with extra parm, extra peck, a splash of black pepper, and another glug of olive oil. And you, my friends, you're feasting like the Romans did. Enjoy. One of my favorite spring pastas in the world. Only a couple ingredients. Absolutely perfect. Get your own bowl. I'm not going to share. Bye-bye.